All right, so we came out to the 100-meter range because we've got a little bit of zeroing in to do and a little fine tuning. Most of these have been zeroed already, but to limited range. So we zeroed it to like 50 yards just to make sure that we're hitting paper, and then we're going to bring it out to the 100 and see if we can fine tune. This one has been roughly sighted in, so in no particular order, right to left, I guess. This is the Savage 110 Hunter with the Magpul stock. A little short bull barrel on it, and he's got the Hog Hunter Vortex Diamondback Hog Hunter, and I mean, just look at the size of the scope on that. Illuminated as well, and so we're going to zero this guy in. Looking at it so far, and like all those complaints that I have with my son's little Savage, this action is like butter. So very smooth action. Really impressed with this for I think $1,200, Glenn, give or take.
Yeah, $1,200, $1,300.
Okay, so $1,300, not including the scope, of course, but looking like a very capable deer hunter, or whatever you wanted to do with it. And then he's got his pride and joy for deer hunting. This is his Tikka TX3 Light, chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. I mean, Tikka action, don't worry, it's not live round, snap cap, we've already checked these. Very smooth. I mean, there's just, it's very, very slick, and he's got the Vortex Viper PST, I think, scope on it. Really nice scope, great setup, great rig, and has already got blood on it, if you know what I mean, if you're a hunter. Another firearm, my brother has a thing about lever action rifles, and he's been waiting for about 3 years to get his hands on one. And I'm going to get to the one that he really wanted eventually, because it just so happens my friend brought his along, and I mean, it is just gorgeous. But this is chambered in 243 lever action BLR Browning. Okay, so it takes a magazine, which is kind of odd for those like traditional, Winchester Model 94 type, and it looks a little funny because it's missing the magazine tube down here. So Browning went the other way. Fantastic rifles. My dad had one in 30-06, hunted very well, no problems with chambering. We don't have a scope on it yet, so he's going to try it with the sights and see what he hits, because as you can tell, it's brand new. It's still got the sticker on it. So these two rifles both come from that hunting store in Richmond, Ontario. It's just outside of Canada. Great store, family run, family owned. In fact, they're members of my family. So they would love your support, and they're doing very well and very knowledgeable on all topics. Actually, Jen is more into bow hunting. So if you're getting into bow hunting and you've got questions, wealth of knowledge. And then we have the mighty 30-06, and I think this one here is a Savage as well.
No, that's a Remington 783.
Oh, right, the Remington. Oh, yeah, there we go. The infamous or famous Remington Model 783. My take on Remington. It's a love-hate kind of thing. They've put out some fantastic rifles in the past, and there's a lot of complaints lately about build quality kind of going down.
It was $500 brand new when I bought it.
And that's why he bought it, because it was $500. He wanted a 30-06, so he's like, hey, 783. And as many complaints as there are, it actually
it's
shoots.
It's a snap cap.
Yeah, it shoots straight. So the action on it is nice. He put a Nikon scope on it. Not his, my brother doesn't really hunt anything requiring a 30-06. So he picked it up because he didn't have one yet, which is something that I would be likely to do. Now, this is like all kinds of sexy, and we have SpongeBob SquarePants going off in the background. So this is the Alaska Guide, 4570, put out specially, right? Like and now my friend put a Holosun red dot on it, which is probably almost exactly a red dot is what I would put on this type of rifle as well. So you're not going to take this thing long range. I mean, it is laminate stock, Picatinny rail, all the way down. It'll shoot 410 rounds. It's made specifically. I mean, there's a lot of features on this. Scott could certainly talk about it a lot more, but I already noticed, the extended kind of cocking lever, the action on it, very smooth. It's got that big handle. It's made for Alaska, so you're wearing mitts, gloves, whatever. You can still get in. You can still work the action. Fantastic rifle. And he brought a couple of rounds out here to use, and just get an idea of what you're loading as far as power. What did you say you had for grain? Sorry, Scott, to put you on the.
Got the standard 4570 government at a 405 grain.
405 grain.
We've got the 457 Wild West gun ammunition. It's a 350 grain.
Okay, so that'll be light. Barely feel it.
Yeah, barely feel it.
Barely feel that.
And then I've got the HSM bear loads at 430.
Okay, so I mean, as sexy as it is, I'm anxious to see how much that's going to make Bobos in the shoulder. So we're going to go, and I don't know what particular order we're going to go in, but we're going to shoot, we're going to have fun, and hopefully we'll have some of that video of, I'm not sure I want that on video when I cry like a little baby shooting the big boy rounds. But as you can see, all kinds of price points here, 500 to 1200 to this now is going for in the
4,500 US.
4,500 US. So, ouch. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, like, this is all affordable. This one, if you're on a budget like me, I would have to hide that in my house for many, many years so my wife didn't see it. Or I could tell her it's like a cheap lever action. I'm not sure she'd believe it. I mean, it's stainless. It's just gorgeous. So, we're going to get going to having some fun. Okay. These are the potential cartridges that we're firing today. So on the far left, we have 410, which, as I said, 4570 will shoot. Next up, we have 243 Winchester, and it looks like very tiny compared to the other ones. Next up is 6.5 Creedmoor, and we have some, I think it's like there's some 95 grain, there's also some 147 grain. I think that is the 147 grain. And then 308, standard 150 grain, 30-06, I believe, is also 150 grain, Glenn?
Anyway. 150 or 180?
It could be
I got
150.
150.
But anyway, it's 30-06. You can tell because it's got a much longer casing for the cartridge, and the cartridge itself is tucked more into the neck. Whereas if you look at the 6.5 Creedmoor, it's kind of the opposite. A very small neck and packing some powder. And then we have for the 4570, we have the 457 Wild West 350 grain. This guy.
Far right.
That's the far right?
That's the far
right. Okay, we're going right from right to left. Okay, so that's the 457 350 grain, which, as Scott says, actually packs a little bit more punch than the other ones. We'll see. Okay, this is the middle one?
Yeah.
Okay, so then next over, still in the copper jacketed, is the 430 grain. Yes. We're not hunting elephants. I don't know why we need something so powerful. And then we have the just the lead round is just your tiny little 405 grain flat point.
The marketing from Marlin for their version of it, as opposed to this high-end one, was that it would take down large animals with the 4570, including T-Rex.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, yeah, because that's what the guy hunted on from the Jurassic Park movie. Jurassic Park movie. Anyway, going to be some fun. As you can see, I don't know how many rounds we're going to shoot of each. We're going to see how that 308. I think he wants to do his. Looks like he has Tika set up right now. So I think he wants to try and get that like really dialed in, and that would be the 6.5 Creedmoor. So maybe we'll start like tiny and work our way up. And the ninjas are coming.
Okay, it's rolling. I'm just letting it go because it doesn't need a lot of adjustment.
Ready when you are. I would say you're about an inch left.
I gotta take fucking caps off though to adjust the sight. Dope.
Why did it sound so loud? Oh, I forgot to turn it off. No, because it still will muffle the sound,
Yeah.
but just
It was the percussion that you could feel, the concussion you could feel from
Yeah,
it too.
like,
That we were like, wow.
Hey there, YouTube friends and family. We just got back from the range. It was myself, my brother, and a good friend of mine that I've known for like 25 years, and my brother, obviously, who I've known longer than that. Had a great time. Uploaded a couple of shorts so far just about the video, but my brother, he's been kind of acquiring firearms for the last couple of years that he hasn't had the opportunity to go out to a distance. Like where we hunt, I think the longest range is like 75, 80 yards, and then it gets into woods. So not really a safe place to zero in a rifle. He's got another friend that's got a 100 meter. Anyway, it didn't work out timing wise so I said, why don't you come out to my range? And they've got the shooting bench, the rests, a good backdrop. And then once we zero everything in, we can kind of do a little plinking on the steel plates. I'll bring pistols. So I shot, the Glock 17, shot the 19, I shot a 22 and a 410. That's what I brought. And my brother just recently purchased a Browning BLR 243 lever action because he was jonesing for a lever action and couldn't find one anywhere on God's green earth. Welcome to the shortage supply here in Canada. And we know what happened with Ruger and Marlin, so that's why it's very slow to get those rifles up here. And then on top of that, he had just recently purchased a Savage 110 Hunter with Magpul edition. Supposedly blueprinted bolt, supposed to run really, really good. And he got that chambered in 308 and he wanted to zero that in because he just put a scope on it, never shot it before. That's a lie. He did a quick zero at 50 yards, but he wanted to bring it out to 100 and just make sure that it was, sighted in the way he wanted it to be. He brought out a Remington 783 that's got some gremlins. And hopefully you'll see that in the video, but we started to run low on battery. But anyway, he'll shoot a round or two and get it zeroed in, let the rifle sit for a bit, he'll go back to shoot another round, and all of a sudden he'll have like his first round out of the barrel will be like 8 inches left and like 2 inches high, and the next one will be 3 inches low and 5 inches right. There's no rhyme, no reason. And then he can put the rifle aside and then he'll pick it up again and he'll be 1 inch above the zero at 100 yards. So there was, he's got gremlins with it. He's gone through like 3 boxes of 30-06 trying to get that thing sighted in and scoped in, and there's just some inconsistency. So it's got the barrel heats up really fast, and I'm kind of wondering, maybe you guys know, if anybody's out there shooting a 783 recently, and my complaints about Remington, I think the build quality has gone down significantly. He's also using a Nikon scope that I'm not overly familiar with. Most of his stuff is kitted out with Vortex, but anyway, he's got a Nikon on this one, and we don't know if that's maybe what it is. It's like dropping out of zero, something wrong with the turret, it's not holding or whatever, or if it's the rifle itself. So anyway, he brought that out, and then he also brought his Tikka in 6.5 Creedmoor TX3, and we just wanted to make sure, because we did a sight in at 50, not at 100, so he wanted to dial it in just that extra little bit. I did bring a rifle out. I brought a Carcano 6.5, and you'll have to take a look at that video because it did pretty good. And then my friend brought a Ruger 1022, probably the nicest looking one I've ever seen, with that like sea serpent or dragon. I can't tell which it is because it depends in the environment that it's in, right? Engraved on the stock Ruger 1022, just a beautiful firearm in like a red tint of stock, and we'll upload some pictures for that. But anyway, it's just gorgeous. And then of course, if you've seen this video, but my friend brought his Wild West Marlin, Wild West edition of Marlin Alaskan Guide 4570, and he brought like 3 loads, and I think the lightest one we shot was 380. After we had already spent 5-6 hours shooting all the other rifles, save that one till last. Not the greatest of ideas. I do not recommend that because that hurts. Okay, so if anybody's looking out for a plinker, 4570 is not a plinker. Okay, it's definitely a man's gun. You'll hear my brother comment in the video, you know, he's 250 pounds and it pushed him back like 6 inches. You really have to have a good tuck on that. Anyway, so we shot all those firearms. Just a fantastic weather. We had to work around a little bit because it was a little bit more crowded on the range than we're used to. But, you know, it all worked out. We got everything dialed in, with the exception of, like I said, that 783 is just weird. I don't know what's going on with it, but it's just being funny. And anyway, hope you liked all the videos. We should have quite a bit of content. We've got something worked out now between myself and my son, who's living in Nova Scotia now. So I will be shipping video, and then it'll take some time to edit or whatever and get it up. But we've got more content coming. Obviously, I appreciate all of your support. If you want to check out a cool video, it's mine. Anyway, check out the SKS video and read the comments. There is a wealth of knowledge in those comments. People know a lot about firearms, more than I have the time to read or to pursue. And I really appreciate when you guys, that's what I love about this, and that's what it's not just being a creator and like putting out content, but I love the comments and I love learning about the firearms. People have these little nuggets of information that when you compile them all together and you put them on one venue, it's just amazing. Anyway, check that video out. Check out my other videos. Don't forget to click that like and subscribe, please. You're helping me out. I love it. And we'll see you another day.